Champions League group stage completed. Group E, Chelsea finish top, and whilst that was not the most exciting of games, to say the least, quite literally one of the most boring games to watch. Some standout performances, to say the least, from several players, to be honest with you. Whilst straight away, before the game even started, there were several sort of situations to mention. Of the main one, of course, being why Graham Potter would field such a strong team in a game that really has no significance besides it being a warm-up for the Arsenal game on Sunday. Risking players that now it's come to light that once the game's come to the end. Zakaria, fantastic performance from him. He's picked up an injury. Azpilicueta, he had a few bits here. Aubameyang, he had a bit of a knock at one point. Chilwell going off, just completely and utterly done his hamstring by the looks of it. And whilst, they said that a hamstring can be up to 4 weeks, or, a minimum of 4 weeks. Whoever you're supporting in the World Cup, of course I'm supporting England, so it's a massive blow for England once again. Reece James was already out. Chilwell's out now. It's deja vu all over again from last season, to say the least. And, just not our season once again when it comes to the injuries. Injury woes aplenty. It worked out in the end, of course. We were 1-0 down, which was just laughable, to be completely honest with you. And as such, just for that alone, I feel like some of the defenders didn't get quite as high a rating. We'll get to the man of the match at some point in this video. Just quite baffled as to who actually got the man of the match. I really can't rack my head as to why on earth he did, but yeah. Okay. Let's start things off. Mendy getting a place in the team. Of course, Kepa dropped through, again, injury, I believe. He's not 100% fit. Mendy in goal. Made a couple of crucial saves, but I feel like it was more, it was a mixture of Azpilicueta. Of course, it came in through Chilwell's side. Azpilicueta could have done better in challenging for the ball, and then it's coming and Koulibaly, Chalobah absolutely in no man's land, and Mendy, albeit it is on the 6-yard line, so it's at point blank range more or less. Besides that, I really just wasn't too impressed, but not to say he had a bad game. I just feel like there were times when he put the players under pressure, as he does so frequently in defence, playing it out from the back. I just feel so nervous whenever Mendy's on the ball. I have that sense of Kepa being on the ball back years, a couple of years ago, and even recently, like last season, when Kepa's been on the ball, thinking like, Jesus Christ, it's dicey. It's dicey. And I never thought I'd have that with Mendy, but I absolutely do. I think a 6.5, especially given that today wasn't the most convincing of wins. It wasn't the most entertaining, as I said. Still, we got the result nonetheless. I feel like these can be kind of hit and miss. Many will probably argue that Azpilicueta doesn't deserve a 7, and I feel like a 6.5 is absolutely warranted at the least. A 7 is warranted at the most. I feel like down that right-hand side, he was doing well. Obviously picked up a knock as well for his troubles. And just really not too much of a standout performance, but he still had, again, not a bad game. Not a bad game. Again, going back to the incident where they scored, I feel like it could have been dealt with a lot better. Of course, Koulibaly coming off earlier in the game. Before he didn't get the full 90 minutes, Thiago Silva coming on and very briefly over him, he missed an absolute sitter, which you wouldn't think he would. You wouldn't think he would. But yeah, a 6.5 for Koulibaly, I feel like just not quite as good as as Chalobah and as Azpilicueta today. But again, not to say he had a bad performance. I just feel like that Azpilicueta and Chalobah had a better game overall. Chilwell, what was it? 6 chances he created today. 2 big chances created, and an injury for his troubles as well. I personally think he deserves an 8. I think it's probably one of the better performances from Chilwell this season, and it might be one of his last for a while, given the hamstring injury. And I'm going to get a load of people saying, you fucking English tax. People saying I love Mount, and I don't dislike Mount, to say the least, but fuck me. Everyone keeps saying... and it's unironic as well. Like, it's not even done as a bit of banter. The whole thing of me backing Mount, or I gave him a 5.5 in the last game, and everyone was, or there was plenty of people rather saying that I favouritize Mason Mount, which could be further from the truth. I've been more critical of him than any other player on this team. Maybe Havertz, but still. But if you really don't think that Chilwell deserves an 8, you know, or that he played better than these 3, you need to reevaluate, I think, a little bit. Really good performance from Chilwell. 6 chances created, 2 big chances in those 6. And like we say, just so unfortunate to get the hamstring injury that he has had. But here we are. Another 8 goes to Jorginho. Just the centre of midfield, just under lock and key. To be honest, I feel like it was a very well orchestrated, very well kept. And we'll get on to Zakaria in a bit. But for me, again, Jorginho, an 8. Fantastic performance from him. Very solid. One of those games in particular as well where he might have gone unnoticed how good he played. But I thought, you know, I'm going to focus on him today a bit more than I usually would. And pleasantly surprised. Again, I feel like whenever I don't focus on him and then everyone's saying, well, fantastic performance from him. And I think, I don't really see it. But he is one of those elusive players that seems to have those standout performances, usually when you don't see him doing anything. He just has the midfield under control. Of course, Zagreb had a few chances, but nothing too much in the way of anything too dangerous, apart from their goal, of course. I'm trying to think who I gave a 7. And Mason Mount, a 7. I really do not understand. And I'm trying to rack my head as to what on earth he supposedly did. Apart from the assist that hasn't been credited to him. Don't get me wrong. Fantastic run. Fantastic vision to find Zakaria. Zakaria, sorry. I keep getting the fucking pronunciations. Just seeing the Chilwell injury again. Apart from that, I really don't understand. And that's not to say that Mount had a bad performance. I just don't get how he's had a man of the match worthy performance over the likes of Jorginho, Chilwell, Zakaria, sorry. I just didn't have a standout performance over those players. I really don't understand. So yeah, again, not saying he's had a bad game, to say the least. I just don't understand how on earth he got given man of the match, officially got man of the match. I could be completely wrong. You have to bear in mind how quickly I need to put this out before I see any actual true information. So this is just going off of my gut instinct. And I feel like a lot of people agree with me that Zakaria, man of the match, let's be honest. Like, just a really good performance, especially with everything. I'll get to him in a second. Sterling, he scored. You could argue he had a 7, but then that would argue that he's had as good a game as Mason Mount. It was a great finish, fantastic layoff from Aubameyang. But again, just so frustrating to watch in his duels. Does he ever win a one-on-one duel? Apart from, I mean, you could argue, did he win the duel to get past and get the shot off? I feel like he maybe just cut in and shot. I mean, that is literally what happened, but I'm not sure if that counts as him beating someone, because he didn't. But yeah, I'm so confused as to, again, right, let's look at Jules. Jules. He won 1 out of 10 Jules today. 1 out of 10. That's 10% of his Jules today he won. It's just not good enough for me. Like, considering how good Sterling can be. And someone was saying in the chat during the stream that Sterling's not a dribbling player. He's not meant for winning duels. He's better as making the runs and then finding the deadly pass or the shot. I'm sorry, he's 27 years old, for Christ's sake. He's so experienced. He's done it all, pretty much. So a player of his, to get 10% of your duels against a team like Zagreb, no disrespect, and I know they beat us in the last game, and we've only just realistically won this 2-1, but I just want more from Sterling, and I'm not for 1 second slating him because he had a great start. I just feel like he's having a really severe dip at the moment, and the best, again, is still yet to come from him. But yeah, just... apart from the goal, he seemed to be real, like, come on. And everyone else was as well. I just feel like he could be doing better. And just the evidence is there. 1 duel won in his 10. He's lost 9 out of his 10 duels today. It's just not good enough. It just isn't good enough. And it goes back to our creativity and the lack of creativity and these attacking players that don't seem to be doing enough. There's times where it is enough, but it's not consistent is the main thing with these players. Consistency. Aubameyang, a 7. I feel like that's probably quite high. A fantastic assist, though, is what takes him from a 6.5 to a 7. Just the vision, the back heel, the technique, the quality, the finesse to get that assist. It was just really, really good. And I feel like he had a good game other than that as well. Just solid. All around people's... And he hit the bar as well. You think if that had gone in, probably looking at maybe a 7.5, 8. But just not to be. I think he's brewing. I think he's cooking. I think he's going to be... I think I can smell a goal coming from him against Arsenal. I just can. It's meant to be. It's destined to happen. But we'll wait and see what happens with that. Havertz, 6.5. I just can't, for the life of me. Chances created, 2. 78% accuracy with his passes is pretty good. That's very good. 2 accurate crosses. He won 1 out of 3 duels. Just not a bad game, but again, just so like So, I know he scored 2 goals recently, but just where is the outstanding quality? So many of these players just do my nutting because you just know how good they are, and it's just not abundantly clear at the moment where that quality is coming from. Anyway, let's close the show here. Last one, 8.5 for me. I thought Zakaria hit the ground running. Literally hit the ground running. Fantastic performance from him. I don't even think I'm exaggerating when I say it's, if you look at the duels, and I've been banging on about those, he's only won 50% of those. But just looking at him, for me, more so, it was, he scored a goal. And just the enthusiasm, the adrenaline must have been running rampant in him. But just a fantastic performance. Never gave up. Constantly tracking down. Constantly running. Constantly hounding, the other side to win the ball back. And if everyone can play with the intensity that Zakaria brought to the team today, I think just the games would be so much more enjoyable to watch lately, because that's the one thing we're lacking is intensity. We go 1-0 down and it's like, well, we might score if I feel like it. We'll bring this back if we feel like it. Kind of, it just has that kind of vibe. Anyway, with that said, I'm no doubt going to get fucking slated for these ratings. And do you know what? Couldn't give a bollocks. It's against Zagreb in the last game. The match couldn't fucking matter any less. I'm so sleep deprived right now. I need to go to bed. My name is Harry. Be sure to smash the like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification to be notified of any future content. Of course, we have fan cams. We have the Arsenal, the Man City game, the Newcastle game to come until the World Cup. And of course, on Monday, the round of 16 draw. I will be hosting that here on Chelsea Fan TV on Monday. So be sure to tune in for that. Whenever the time is for that, you'll find out more details shortly. But until then, until Sunday, thank you for watching. My name's Harry. Up the Chelsea. Peace.